Yeah, and tell us about the radio, because you've recently made the move from One Extra, which is the I think it's a digital only station over in the UK, to Radio 1, which is kind of like the main station for new music, right?
It's the biggest station in Europe, yeah. So it's quite a big deal. Obviously outside of the UK. It's the same for people because they listen to me online and they listen to all of the shows on the BBC online. Exactly. But within the UK, it's quite a big difference because it's an FM station with a reach of about 14 million people. So it was definitely a huge privilege and honour to be asked to host a show on that station, and I'm very glad to have done so. Yeah,
so it was a no-brainer basically when they asked you.
Yeah, definitely, man. I mean, it's a huge privilege. When you're a kid in the UK, you grow up listening to Radio 1. You know, I used to tape the top 40 on Radio 1 every single Sunday. I'd do the pause button mixtapes based on the top 40 pop records when I was a kid, and it's all Radio 1. So to end up there at this stage in my career is a real blessing.
Yeah, and it's interesting that you have basically filled the time slot that was previously held by Mary Ann Hobbs. Did you feel there was an expectation from the station or from the audience that there'd be some sort of continuity in what you're doing? I mean, there's a fair crossover, I suppose.
Yeah, I think there was always a crossover, and obviously, like many people, it's like concentric circles. There's places where we crossed over, and then there's places where we're quite independent. But I think the continuity is from the fact that she was another DJ who was completely committed to flying the flag for music that she believed in, and good music, and putting music on a platform, irrelevant of whether it was a major recording artist or some guy from down the road that's just started making beats you've never heard of, and I have very much the same approach. So even if musically we're different, ethically, it's definitely a similar thing going on in that slot for sure. Yeah,
excellent. So it's not called Deviation anymore?
Unfortunately not.
Do they have a name?
It's Benji B on Radio 1.
Wow. How long did it take you to come up with that one? Right. And now, Waajeed, it's interesting, Benji's been playing your music on his show for a long time, and I kind of, you hear a connection, both when you go on the show and through the way he plays the music, but also it sort of seems to be kind of a two-way thing where, kind of get the impression that, you really appreciate what he's doing.
Absolutely,
for itself, not just for the fact that it's got something to do with you.
Absolutely, yeah.
But the music that he plays and the way he plays it and all that sort of thing. Is that...
it's refreshing that it's about music, very similar to your show. It's about music. It's not about profile. It's not about how many Twitter friends you have. It's about music, and it's refreshing that a show like that is an honest show. He's really playing what he wants to hear, and it's not about bias, and it's not about popularity.
Yeah. Well, look, and I mean, I think Benji would probably say this about BBC in terms of the platform that they give you. There's a lot of freedom. For you to do what you do.
It's an immense privilege to be involved in that organisation, especially when you're lucky enough to travel like I am, and you go around the world and you realise that it really isn't like that around the rest of the world, without commercial pressures. I mean, my job is to do my job without any sort of influence from any commercial entity, anyone persuading me that this is good or I should be playing that. The beauty of it is it's a public service organisation, which means that it's my responsibility to, do it devoid of influence and just play the music I believe in. So, I'm in a fortunate position, man. Yeah, no, it's a beautiful thing.
Waajeed, in Detroit, what's the the situation like there? I mean, there's so much amazing music that we hear that comes out of Detroit. I play so much on this show, whether it's techno, whether it's soul, whether it's jazz, whether it's hip hop.
Yeah.
I mean, is there an outlet? Is there someone other than Benji B, someone closer to home? That can play the music.
I'm sure there is. I'm not aware of it.
Yeah.
But I'm sure there is. I'm sure there's some underground station that's, that's playing the latest and the greatest.
Yeah.
But for the worldwide platform, I gotta thank guys like you and Benji, for spreading the gospel. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
It means a lot for people like me.
And look, just to quickly run back through the tracks, because we were sort of talking off mic, we started off with Tron in Benji's set, one of your classic tracks, Waajeed, and you were sort of saying that things are kind of headed more in that kind of more electronic direction for you, and that you collaborating a bit with Mad Mike, who was on the show a couple of months ago.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy for things that are happening as far as the electronic side of music. I did Tron 10 years ago, and I think at the time, I think the world wasn't ready to kind of swallow it. I was met with some opposition.
I was.
Yes, absolutely. So, but generally, I was met with a lot of opposition. You know what I'm saying, to kind of collide those worlds, of hip hop and kind of techno.
Yeah.
But with people, like Lotus and Mohawk, you know what I'm saying, like they brought a certain amount of popularity to it, which I'm really grateful for. And they got their own lane. They're doing their own thing. It's very specific to them. And I'm excited about music. I'm excited about putting some of these tracks that I've had in the vault for the last 10 years.
Wow, brilliant. Well,
I'm excited to put this stuff out and work on this project with Mad Mike.
I'm glad to hear that they didn't disappear with your stolen laptop.
Aye.
All right, looking forward to the show tonight. Thanks again for coming in, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, man.
Prince of
Good
Wales
to see
tonight?
you again. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
it's the Prince of Wales, Aloe Black live.
Benji B Waajeed in the
gonna be
place.
fun.
It's going to be a party.
Absolutely. Come through.